AM 1220 KHTS, your hometown station. I am Kyle Jellings for the Neighborhood Watch, brought to you by All American Bail Bonds on your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS. A little earlier today, usually at 10 o'clock, but we have early Dodgers today, so we bumped us up a little bit. But coming up, we have, of course, Jessica Boyer is with us in studio, and Kevin Duxbury, Sheriff's Deputy Kevin Duxbury, joining us as well. And how's everything going? Everybody doing okay?
Fantastic.
Well, my wife just typed me a message that said, Facebook is down, Facebook is down.
Oh my.
People, do not call the sheriff's station.
Gosh.
We'll be back.
Oh my goodness. This is an emergency. Do you have to leave? Because this is obviously a big thing. No, so apparently Facebook is down, apparently. So those looking to like photos of us on Facebook may not be able to. But this show here is Neighborhood Watch. Airs the first and third Thursday of the month, usually from 10 to 11 on AM 1220 KHTS. We talk about crime prevention and community programs in conjunction with the Santa Clarita Valley Sheriff's Station. And we usually have some deputies on. This week, Duxbury's been in here a couple weeks now. You've kind of been the guy.
I've been doing it for a couple of months now. Actually.
Yeah, you've been doing it for a couple months now, and you are the Stevenson Ranch zone leader.
Yes, I am.
And what does that mean to be the zone leader?
Well, the zone leaders are all part of the crime prevention unit at the station. The city is broken up into 8 zones. Each zone has a deputy assigned to that zone, and what we do is we monitor the different crime reports that come in from our areas, and then if we see like a trend or a pattern or a rise in a certain crime in a certain area, all 8 of us will get together and do kind of like a sting operation or a secret squirrel mission or something like that to try and eliminate that problem. It's a great thing because it also gives people in that area a deputy that they can contact directly who knows their zone and knows their area, and for any questions or anything like that.
And you guys obviously you work together as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, if there's several crimes happening in the same area that seem related, you guys will work together. Of
exactly.
course. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and so you are over Stevenson Ranch, and you had coffee with the captain recently, and we're going to talk about that a little bit later. And so, but there's this thing called another way. So how do people reach out to you? Say people are in Stevenson Ranch, they want to reach out to you. How do they do that?
The best thing we've got going for us right now is this whole new Nixle, N-I-X-L-E. Basically, what Nixle is you can subscribe to you can subscribe to any Nixle that you want. And what happens is whenever they do these updates on the Nixle, it's sent directly to your cell phone as a text message. So if you want to find the Nixles for Santa Clarita and see what they're all about, you can go on Google or any search engine and just type in Santa Clarita Nixle, N-I-X-L-E, and you'll see all the Nixles for all the different zones. You can click on that. You can look at the weekly crime report. And while you're on that page, there's also tabs, is that what they call them? I'm not a big internet guru. Tabs and stuff that you can click on so that you can subscribe to that Nixle and have it sent directly to your phone whenever it comes out.
And that's cool because if you want to see what's going on in the Santa Clarita Valley, you can have it specific to your zone if you live in Stevenson Ranch, or you can have it specific to 3 zones, Santa Clarita Valley, however you want it.
If you live in one part of the city and work in another, or you have family that lives, throughout the city, then yeah, you can subscribe to all of them. You can see what's going on in the whole city.
Yeah, and then I think that helps with community outreach as well, and communication as well.
Oh, we use it for all kinds of stuff. We use it for be on the lookouts. We look our weekly crime reports, special events coming up. We'll publish something like our safe shreds or the polar plunge, that type of thing. So yeah, it's a great tool. And I've noticed that once I publish something on Nixle, within 15-20 minutes, all the major medias have picked up on it and copied and pasted and put that on their sites as well. So it's a really great tool.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And again, go to nixle.com for more information on that. We got a bunch of stuff we're going to talk about. Coming up right around the corner, though, we're going to talk about some missing hikers. I want to talk to you, Deputy, about maybe some safety precautions that we can take, and then also the CERT program. We want to talk about that a little bit. So we're going to take a quick break. Jessica Boyer, myself, Kyle Jellings, and Deputy Duxbury on the Neighborhood Watch on your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS, brought to you by All American Bail Bonds. Santa Clarita's hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS. This is the Neighborhood Watch on your hometown station. I'm Kyle Jellings with Stevenson Ranch Zone Leader, Deputy Kevin Duxbury, and Jessica Boyer from the KHTS News team. And we are live on AM 1220 KHTS. We're also streaming live at hometownstation.com. You can also download the free KHTS app by going to your Google Play and App Store and search KHTS. Download the app and you can listen to us wherever you are, wherever you have a signal. That's where you can hear us. Now, we were talking about the Nixle and stuff. We were just talking about a story that happened last night about a young child that got lost. It was at Towsley Canyon?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Jessica, explain. Well, there's two stories that happened.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about the one last night since it happened pretty recently.
Night.
Yeah, last night. So this happened, though. So, Jessica, will you explain that a little bit?
Yeah, we've had actually a lot of missing kids and missing teens hiking. I'm assuming, it's summertime. You want to go out, you want to hike. Last night, the Santa Clarita Valley Sheriff Station deputies and search and rescue responded to a child who was stuck on an 8-foot-high ledge along Hasley Canyon Trail. He was afraid to come down. Around 8:30, the mom of the 11-year-old boy called the sheriff station. She was worried. It was starting to get dark. She was getting concerned. Her son wasn't coming down from this ledge. So one of the Santa Clarita Valley Sheriff Station deputies, he went up and he hiked this trail and he got the kid down. And if you go to our Facebook page, you can see this great picture of this deputy. He is just sweating
just
from head to
drenched
toe
in sweat,
from rescuing this little boy. And, this happens often, right, Deputy Duxbury?
It happens a little bit out here. Yeah, we do have a lot of hiking trails, and we do run into these quite often, especially in the summer.
We actually have, a lot of great hiking trails out here in the Santa Clarita Valley. And another story that happened was a 19-year-old woman and her boyfriend were hiking. She began to feel lightheaded around 9:20 p.m. They called 911 and they said they were lost. And then search and rescue teams were activated. And I want to ask, there's kind of a misconception because you see on TV all the time, they have to be gone for 2 days before they're considered missing. That's not true, right?
No, we don't play games with that. If somebody calls 911 and says, I'm lost and I'm somewhere on the trails, then we're going to respond immediately.
Yeah. And so that is something that is, and even if like a parent calls and their son
absolutely.
or kid are missing.
I know you see in the movies that you can't declare someone missing for 3 days or someone's not lost for 24 hours. No, if you call us, we're going to respond immediately.
And that's the most important time, right? Early in the
absolutely.
Because if we wait 3 days, then who knows what could happen?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And so let's talk. So what are some? Okay, so you're a deputy. What are some safety precautions that people can take if they're going to go hiking, so they don't get lost, or two, what do they do if they do get lost?
Well, okay, first of all, anytime you're hiking, you want to make sure you have the proper supplies, a good amount of water, some snacks in case you do get hungry and start feeling lightheaded, decent first aid kit. It's very important to let other people know where you're going, what your schedule is when you're planning on leaving, when you're planning on being back. I think it's also important to watch your time. Okay, you really don't want to be hiking the trails at night. It's a lot harder to see, so make sure you're going to have enough daylight. Probably the most basic tip I could give as far as hiking and land navigation, before you start your hike, look behind you. Pick a landmark that you can see from anywhere, whether it be the mountains all the way to the north or the Magic Mountain Tower or something of that nature, so that if you are hiking on these trails and you get lost, all you have to do is look for that obstacle and just keep heading toward it, and you'll find your way back out.
Yeah, and stay on the trail too.
Staying on the trail is important, especially in the summer, because we do have rattlesnakes. You want to be very careful.
That was something I didn't even think about. I was just worried about getting lost.
So, you want to stay on the wider trails. If you do see a rattlesnake or if you hear a rattlesnake in an area, just back away slowly.
Okay, because I would have screamed like a little girl.
Yeah,
so that's what I would have.
Yeah, don't be the hero and try and grab it by the neck or anything like that.
No, I would have screamed like a little girl and ran away. So don't have to worry about that.
But yes, definitely try and stay on the more cleared trails.
Okay.
But again, if you do become lost and you have to look for that big mountain to the north of the Magic Mountain Tower, you just do your best to stay on the trails while you're heading toward it.
Awesome. And so speaking of search and rescue, you guys obviously responded well. Again, go look at our deputy hiked in the dark to find an 11-year-old off the ridge, and go check out the photo. It's really an awesome photo. It's a great photo.
Incredible. And a lot of people, it was fantastic. A lot of people were commenting on our Facebook post saying, thank you so much.
Yeah.
It gave a lot of positive feedback to the sheriff's station, because a lot of times our stories aren't necessarily the most positive or happiest story. So it was great to have this change.
Certainly. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's always good. Okay, so we want to talk about, speaking of search and rescue and all that stuff, the Community Emergency Response Team, known as CERT. Can you talk a little bit about that, Jessica?
Yeah, CERT is designed to train citizens to protect themselves and their loved ones in case there's an emergency, there's an earthquake, there's a fire, there's flooding. The CERT course, it trains you to manage utilities, it trains you to put out a small fire, treat 3 medical killers, control bleeding, treat shock, all these different things that can come up if there's an emergency that you need to know. And if first responders can't get to you, then it's important. You know, if you look back at the Northridge earthquake, the Santa Clarita Valley was cut off from the rest of Los Angeles when the freeways collapsed. So a lot of people had to kind of fend for themselves. Deputy Duxbury, I just wanted to ask, you know, what are some things that might be helpful for people to know in an emergency situation if a deputies can't get out to them, if firefighters can't get out to them?
Yeah, I think most, if you want to call them prepper companies, recommend that for people like us who live in an earthquake zone, that you have about 3 days of supplies prepared, about 3 days of water, 3 days of non-perishable foods, a really good first aid kit, make sure you have proper fire extinguishers, that type of thing. It's also good to keep camping gear close to your home so that if your house is compromised or it's not safe to live in, then you can go tent it out in the backyard or something like that until you can get help. If you are an RVer, if you own an RV or a trailer, that is a great emergency shelter. Keep that stocked up with supplies.
That, and basic, and what's cool about the CERT program is they teach you basic stuff in a certain situations where, you know, you mentioned it, shock, you know, medical aid, different things where obviously you're not a professional, but you can certainly calm a situation. We need to take a break. So right after the break, we're going to talk about some of the stories that Jessica and the news team have cooked up in the last week, and then we're also going to talk about you were on the hot seat a little bit. Coffee with the Captain. That's coming up. Yeah, that's coming up as well. This is the Neighborhood Watch, sponsored by All American Bail Ponds on your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS.